All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the Occupational Health and Safety information session here at UC Davis Continuing and Professional Education. I'm glad that you were able to join us today, and I hope that this session gets you the information that you were looking for. If you have any questions, we do have a session time at the end in which you can ask questions. You can use the Q&A function to ask questions, or you can also put them into the chat, and we'll address them at the end of the session, but you can put them at any time. So thank you and welcome. So just kind of going over the agenda for today, did the welcome. We'll do some quick introductions for myself and some program staff and for our instructor that we have with us today. After we do our Instructor Spotlight, we will be going over information about continuing professional education and specifically on the Occupational Health and Safety program, and also about our Workplace and Health and Safety Manager Certificate. So my name is Hannah Moore, and I am the current program manager for the Occupational Health and Safety program here at Continuing Professional Education. I also currently manage the Workplace Health and Safety Manager Certificate. We also have with us today Allison Morris, and she if you were taking classes in the future, she will likely be a contact for you also on this program. You can say hi, Allison.
Hi, everyone. Allison here.
And we also have our our program director with us today, Monica Jackson, and she's going to do a quick hi.
Oh, I am? Oh, yes. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us.
We are going to jump right into our Instructor Spotlight. Today we have with us Renee, and she is our instructor for our Introduction to Industrial Hygiene course. And we are real excited to have her with us here. Her class is actually going to be taking place in January 2022. I know that seems weird, but it is coming up real soon as we are already in mid-November. Her class begins on January 11th. And so she'll be speaking about her class, about her experience, and kind of just talking about the importance of occupational health and safety. So thank you so much, Renee, for being here with us today. Let's get started. We got your first slide. So Renee, can you please, tell us about, sorry, something weird happened here on my screen. Oh, there we go. So Renee, can you please, tell us about your upcoming course, the Introduction to Industrial Hygiene, and how it will benefit our students in their careers?
Sure. Well, good morning or afternoon, everyone. Great to be here. I'm here to talk a little bit about the course that's coming up in January and hope to get you excited and enrolled in that course. It'll be January 12th to 13th. And a little bit about me is that I have a background in industrial hygiene and environmental health from Purdue, and then went on and got my master's at North Carolina. And I have been a certified industrial hygienist for many, many decades. But essentially the course, what I like about this course is that it's applicable to so many other aspects in the whole environmental and health field. You're going to learn a lot about the basic industrial hygiene principles, understanding how to identify hazards, both physical, biological, and chemical, understand how we determine what exposure may occur in the workplace and how to characterize that exposure. And as I said, these fundamental principles of hazard identification and toxicity and standards or toxicity benchmarks, and also how to communicate those results, I think are all crucial to applying this in several other fields, either if you stay in the occupational arena or if you find that your work kind of morphs more into environmental. And I'm even finding in my career that I'm taking those same concepts and doing a lot of work in the consumer product arena. So I think the fundamentals are really important, and that's what I think the course is going to be able to provide to you.
Great. You know, as it is an introductory course, I think it's a great place for people to kind of start. We've got a couple of other courses that also deal with industrial hygiene. So, I think it's definitely, a great place to start. And like you said, it's right at near the beginning of January. So for anybody that is, new to the program and getting into it, I think it's a great starting point for them. And I just got some more of, kind of your own experience that you have here. You talked a bit about it, but the work that you've done and kind of, why you are the instructor for this course and the experience that you have is great. So, kind of going into that, what I guess is your specific industry? How many years have you worked in it? And kind of what kind of changes have you seen during that time?
Oh, I've seen a lot of changes over the past 25 plus years. I started off my career in industry before working for Chevron. I had some internships with Shell and IBM. And then I moved into consulting, and I've been consulting for the past 25 plus years. But I've seen a lot of benefits that have occurred in the occupational workplace and in the environmental. We've learned how to effectively figure out how to manufacture, use, and dispose of chemicals in a safe manner. But I've also seen some mistakes made along the way and consequences of some bad choices and kind of regretful chemical substitutions. That being said, we've made a great amount of stride in this field. And I think what's important to remember is that this field is ever evolving. What you learn now and what you're using now is going to be probably completely different things that you're going to be dealing with in 10 years. So that's one of the fascinating things about industrial hygiene is that, and especially now with what we're doing in the workplace, obviously our workplace has changed a lot. We're not manufacturing chemicals like we used to. So many times we're dealing with management of chemicals in different ways. And the other thing that I've seen change is that people find out a lot about chemicals by going to google.com. So you're always dealing with people that you have to kind of step back and figure out how to convey some of these kind of technical issues of toxicity and exposure in a way that they can understand, knowing that they're getting some of their information, from what's out there. And so it's something that we have to deal with. And so that's another, I think, fascinating part of industrial hygiene and occupational health is that, you're dealing with workers, you're needing to explain things, you've got several different hats. Sometimes you're, technically out there collecting data. Other times you're analyzing that data, you're presenting it, you're teaching, you're trying to find good examples, you're trying to lead by example. And you're trying to use that information to address kind of other hazards that they might have questions about. So it's changed a lot, and I think it's a great career from the standpoint that it is ever evolving.
Yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, like you said, a lot of different hats. And I think that's definitely, something that I've heard from, other instructors also, and for some of our students.
Oh, it looks like Hannah's frozen. I'm going to take this opportunity to ask a question, Renee.
Sure.
So with COVID, I know that the field that you're in is primarily an in-person type of position for people in manufacturing, and so most of the workers would probably be in person. What changes have you seen, or what adaptations have been made over the last 2 years for people working in this field that were working remotely? And do you see a change coming in the future for this type of position, or do you see that it will primarily remain for the most part in-person work?
Well, that's a great question. It kind of depends on what area you go into. If you're going to focus on working in the workplace with manufacturing industries, I think the work will have to occur in person because you need to be there. You're the person who's looking at the safe work practices, and they've done, as we started getting back a year ago, industry has just been slammed dealing with, the new COVID procedures of how to do this and how to do it effectively and safely. And as we all know, it's ever changing. certain communities and counties can do certain things, others can't. But I think what we've learned is we've learned how to do it effectively to keep workers safe. I've seen some kind of, for industrial hygienists or health professionals, health and safety professionals, I've seen some hybrids where you're in the office not 5 days a week, but a couple days a week, and you're still able to do your work effectively, virtually. In other fields, like for example, in consulting, I've traveled and I have visited facilities, but I essentially do all my work virtual, except when I'm doing site visits and working with other team members. So I think it really depends on what area and who you're serving.
Well, thank you, Monica, for stepping in there. It seems that I had a bit of a internet glitch happen. So I appreciate that. I didn't realize until I started hearing Monica talk in the middle of a sentence. So, and it sounds like maybe she touched upon kind of what my next question was about, upcoming issues and such, talking about how with the workplace changing and such. So, but I guess my broad question had been about, if there are any trends or upcoming issues that you were seeing or, and what reasons for this change. But I think the COVID and how that has changed our workplace is definitely a big thing there that you touched on. And I know we had, your additional qualifications. I think we've gone in different directions, but I wanted to make sure that the students also were able to see, the professional organizations that you're a part of, and kind of also that these are organizations that, are available to them should they pursue, being in this career path. And, how that is an important thing.
Yeah. I'd like to stress that that's really important. Like, for example, the Sacramento has a local industrial hygiene association. The Bay Area has one. Plus, there's a national organization, and those are great networking organizations to be involved in, especially after you've taken your classes and you're ready to move on. There has even been some successes for those organizations for hiring. So like any profession, I always recommend that you get involved in your professional association in some way.
Thank you for sharing, the ones that you are a part of that they can look into. And then I think, you had provided this slide about, what you can do with occupational and environmental health education. And I think you did touch upon this, at the beginning of your session here, but is there anything that you want to point out specifically about, what they can do with their education should they pursue this?
Sure. I think just a couple things to point out is that, you can use, as many of you might be starting this because you're already in a job and you're enhancing your education and kind of broadening it, which is to be commended. I think it's important to understand that when you do that, you hopefully will get other opportunities. For those who are just starting off in this or wanting to kind of make a career change, I think it's important to understand that there's many avenues. Many go into industry or consulting. Those are pretty similar because you're working with industrial clients. There's opportunities in government as well as academia if you wish to go that way. And I think the important thing is that when you're in this field, this field is fascinating because sometimes it's where it's housed in the company is different. Sometimes it's part of HR, sometimes it's part of engineering, sometimes it's part of product stewardship programs. So it is multidisciplinary, and I think in general, this field, you have a great opportunity to work with all kinds of other health professionals, including physicians, epidemiologists, toxicologists, engineers. And so from that standpoint, it's kind of exciting, I think.
Yeah, I think, that's something that I've talked with students and potential students about, how it is, everything has health and safety. Any industry, there is an aspect of health and safety, whether you are in a factory or you are in an office or you are in the field, there is health and safety And so, you may, people may pursue a specific aspect of it, but it's something that can be applied basically everywhere.
Everywhere, and we
Yeah.
need it. And people are really concerned about that. They're very concerned about their health and their safety. And so that's never going to go away. Yeah.
And I think with current times, it may be even a higher focus that people are seeing that they might have kind of forgotten.
Exactly. Yeah, the level of risk has, I think, changed.
Yeah, exactly.
And everyone's very different with the level of risk that they're willing to personally take. And so we've seen that change, I think, over the decades as well.
Yeah.
I always use the example, like if you're working in a laboratory with PhD chemists, they think you can drink the chemical. They've been working with this chemical for years. It's no problem. I'm doing research on it. Those are some of the hardest and most challenging environments because you're dealing with people that believe that they know everything about it. And so the difference between that versus I think the younger generation that's coming out with, I think, a better base of chemicals and of health concerns. So you're dealing with kind of different ways to convey that and to ensure that you're protecting their health and their safety.
Yeah, I think that that's really an important point, Renee, when you're talking about it's not always just you. It's the person on the side of you, to your left, to your right, the other people in the workplace. So you may be doing everything that you can to stay safe or following whatever the protocols and policies are at that given time. But you also need to be aware of your colleagues that are next to you and working in the same environment as you are too.
Oh, exactly. Right. Because they, if they know it or not, they contribute. Good or bad, they contribute. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So I think this was a bit about your own course. Did you want to speak to this slide at all?
Yeah,
or just kind of an example.
I just want to say a couple things, because what I was conveying here is that regardless of how you apply this in a laboratory, in a car manufacturing facility, on a construction site, if you're dealing with if you're a product stewardship person and you're dealing with new products that are coming out and management is concerned about the chemicals that they're putting in those products. Regardless of how you apply this, and this is kind of what we talk about in class, is you're basically answering like these 4 questions, like, is there a chemical or a physical agent or a biological agent in this process somewhere? Like, you're getting it, you're using it, you're disposing of it. Somewhere, is there a chemical that causes a potential problem, a health problem or a safety problem? And then you're trying to figure out, like, well, how, who, to what extent can people be exposed to that chemical? And then from the toxicity standpoint, we kind of walk through the steps of, how you understand how much does it take of that chemical to cause that health effect. And then you kind of pull it all together in what I call characterizing the risk. And that's basically, so is there a problem here and is there action needed? And that's kind of the overall concept of however you use this. And it's chemical health assessments, but to some degree, it's also safety health assessments. And then I always throw on this risk communication, because as I said, that's really important. You could be wickedly smart, you could know everything, you could sample and know the number, but you've got to learn how to convey it in a way where the workers trust you or the audience believes you. So I just wanted to kind of highlight that as kind of a way that some of the things that we go over, we do a lot of examples. There's a lot of case examples of, if you were in this situation, what would you do? How would you start evaluating these 4 steps in the class?
Thank you for sharing that and giving people a little taste of what to expect in your class. I know that you do have to leave us early, so I really appreciate you making the time to join us today to speak to our potential students, our attendees, and for the students or potential students here, hopefully students, if you have any questions specifically for Renee, we will forward them on to her. So please use the Q&A function or the chat function to ask any questions, and we'll make sure that Renee receives them and that we get the answers back to you. We will also be able to answer any general questions that towards the end of the session. But anything specifically for Renee, please send them along. We'll make sure that she gets them. So thank you again, Renee, for joining us. I look forward, I think we all look forward to your class in January.
Thank you very much. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Hope to see many of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, so, we jumped right in there with our instructor, and now we're going to get more into our general overview of continuing professional education, or what we call CPE. I've been trying to avoid the abbreviation, but it has been difficult because of how we refer internally. But to kind of, get us loosened up now, we got a fun little poll. So kind of where would you like to spend your winter vacation this year? I'll give you guys a couple seconds to pop them in. We've got a sunny beach, snowy cabin, maybe a desert road trip, or maybe you just want to spend it hiding under a pile of blankets.
So I would ask, do I get to go alone or do I have to take other people?
This is your winter vacation, so whatever you would like it to be, Monica.
Yes. Okay. Well, that would change my answer.
All right. So it looks like people are split on the sunny beach and snowy cabin. I personally, I would say maybe I would be the under a pile of blankets person.
Yeah, I'm under a pile of blankets with the remote for streaming and a book and a bottle of water and maybe a bowl of popcorn. And okay, I'm good. What about you, Allison? Where would you be?
I'm going to be at the snowy cabin. I'm going skiing.
Oh, okay.
You guys can rest.
I guess you can see who may be the highly introverted people of this group. So thank you for answering that. And then we're just going to roll right into another poll. And I think this one, have you ever taken a course with UC Davis Continuing Professional Education? And we were previously known as UC Davis Extension. We made a name change a few years ago. So if you had taken a class with UC Davis Extension, it would count. So give a couple more seconds. And it looks like most of you have not taken a class with us before. So if you have any questions about how the process works, if we don't answer it in the rest of our presentation, please let us know, and we will get you the information that you need. So kind of a bit about continuing professional education. Our mission is that we are the lifelong learning arm of UC Davis, and we provide learning opportunities that transform people, organizations, and communities. Part of that is that we, we've had nearly 62,000 enrollments in more than 3,000 courses. And we serve students in the greater Sacramento area, in all 50 states, and in more than 100 countries. Especially in these past 2 years, we have been able to extend our reach as we have, started to offer more remote learning options. And so that reach has actually extended even more. And we've had 50+ years of developing training programs, in the field of environmental education. And so this is something that we have been doing and we have been excelling at. So, in a general sense, the courses, we have courses in business, health sciences, land use, human services, winemaking, brewing. CPE covers a wide range of subject matters. And so we offer all of that, including our occupational health and safety program. And we've got courses that, take place in Sacramento. We have courses that also, as I said, happen online or, what we call remote learning options. And so we try to offer a lot of different ways for you to receive your education. We have certificate programs like the Workplace Health and Safety Manager Certificate Program, but we also offer classes on an individual basis. You do not have to be enrolled in a certificate program in order to take classes with us. And who we serve is the adult learner. So we try to schedule in ways that makes it easy for you to be able to take our courses. So that's a big focus for us, and making it something that it is able to be worked into your schedule. And something else we do is we do offer customized training for organizations. So if your workplace is looking for specific courses or training for a large portion of your workforce, we are also able to offer that. And we've got another poll. Let me launch that for you. And so, why are you interested in our workplace health and safety program? Are you a current workplace safety manager? Are you interested in becoming a safety manager? Has somebody asked you to be the safety manager? Are you looking for additional education for a promotional opportunity? Or is there a completely different reason that you're interested? Okay, so a couple more seconds here. All right, so it looks like mostly, we're looking for promotional opportunities, but also an interest in becoming a safety manager. So that's great to hear. Stepping into, before you get signed up, there are options for educational loans and training funds. We have our student services office is able to answer your questions should you be looking to be able to how to do that. We've got our general email address, which is, let me put that into the chat, but it's cpeinfo@ucdavis.edu. And you can reach out directly to that email address with any questions. You can obviously call our general number, and there is a page on our website, which is Financing Your Education, that can provide more details if that is something that you are looking to do in order to take our courses. And we do offer course discounts. If you are an alumni of UC Davis, there is an associated discount there. With professional associations, there can also be discounts. And I think the one that, if you are in a workplace and you have, more people that are looking to take a particular training or a particular course, the group enrollment is also one that you can utilize. So if you've got 2 other coworkers that want to take a class, talk to them, get signed up together, and you all can get a 10% discount on that course. And at the conclusion of the session, for those of you that have attended, we will send out a little follow-up email. It should go out tomorrow, and you'll receive a recording of this session and also a coupon code to get $100 off of your first class. This coupon can only be used once. So hopefully, you haven't taken a class before and you'll be able to take advantage of the coupon. And kind of a general overview of our Occupational Health and Safety program. We have courses in health and safety, emergency management, environmental management, We also do the hazardous materials, like the 8-hour hazardous waste refresher. We also have the 24-hour and the 40-hour hazardous waste courses, and you know, many others. And we're always looking to develop new courses. You know, so we're always looking for feedback from our students, and you know, on what courses that they are looking for. So you know, should you take some courses, we'll be asking you also what you would be like to learn in this space. And as I've mentioned a couple of times, you know, we have the Workplace Health and Safety Manager Certificate Program. And the certificate is fully accredited and academically approved by a UC Davis department. The units are equivalent of graduate course units, and the overall certificate program consists of 9 courses for a total of 15.75 units. And the cost is approximately $5,700 to complete, and then there is an additional $125 application fee. Our goal is to offer these courses twice a year, so you can finish it, you know, in as few as 24 months, you know, depending on your own schedule. And you know, currently we've been offering everything remotely. We do have some courses in our winter quarter, which runs from January to March, that are currently scheduled for in the classroom. So we are kind of testing those waters out to let you know. So when you are signing up for courses, just take a look to make sure you are signing up for the modality that you are interested in. And these are the 9 courses that we have in our program. You do not have to take them in any specific order. But as I said earlier, Renee's class, Introduction to Industrial Hygiene, is going to be starting on it's online, and it'll be opening on January 11th. So, you know, I think it's a good place to start as an introductory course. So, you know, but we will be, as I said, we offer them twice. We try to offer them twice a year. And so you'll see, if you go online to our website, you'll see that most of those are available now at some point. So if you're interested, maybe not starting there, but starting somewhere else, you should be able to do so. We also offer what we call our accelerated certificate path. You know, this is something where if you are interested, you would want to reach out to myself or to Allison, and we would, you know, tell you the specific details and get you signed up for it. But it's an option in which if you complete the program in 3 years, you will receive your final course for free, and we will also waive that $125 application fee. And, you know, as the earlier slide said, you can complete this as little as 24 months. So it's definitely a program in which completing in 3 years is completely doable without totally stressing yourself out. But in general, with the certificates, you would need to complete it within 5 years from taking your first course. So this is 3 years as opposed to 5. So if that's something that you are interested in, you know, we'll have some contact information at the end of the session, and you can reach out to myself or Allison, and we can help you, you know, get that set up. All right. I've done a lot of talking, but is there any questions about anything that we've discussed, or any questions that to be sent on to Renee? Right, looks like right now, well, if you do have, you know, any questions, you know, we'll have our contact information up, and you can always reach out if you come up with something that you didn't think of now, but we're available to answer them later. And we just got one last poll. You know,
Looks like we have a question in there.
Oh, did something pop in?
Yeah,
Okay.
Kim Olson. For the online courses, how often do they meet? How long do you have to complete the work?
So thank you, Kim. So for the online courses, the way that they are set up is that we have our learning management system, which is Canvas. So we would call it our online classroom. And that opens up the first day. You'll see, if you're looking at the course information, there'll be a day that it opens up. And most of the certificate courses are classrooms open for 4 days. And during that time, we have what we call 2 live sessions. And the live sessions are the only mandatory times that you have to be online. So for like a course that's open for 4 days, there's 2 live sessions. And then those times are all programmed and scheduled. So you'll see what they are before you sign up for any course. And generally those sessions are from 2 to 3 hours long. We don't really have them go much longer than that. And they can be in the morning or they can be in the afternoon. The additional work is recorded lectures that you will be able to watch on your own time, and discussion session or sections, any kind of assignments, quizzes or tests. Those are all within our online classroom. And so most of the certificate courses, as I said, are 4 days open for you to do that work. There is one course that is long. There's 2 courses that are longer. One is open for a week and a day, and another course is open for a week and a half. The course that's open a week and a day, there are 3 live sessions, and the other course has 4 live sessions. So let's see. So Tim has asked, since the course is only open 4 days, what is the approximate time commitment needed to complete all work? So for a 4-day course, we see that as an equivalent of a 2-day course in the classroom. So it should be about, 14 to 15 hours of work time, and that's including the live sessions, the watching the lectures, and then the additional work. So that does also include the lectures in there when we say that time. So yeah, it's about about 2 days. I mean, we don't do 8-hour classes when they are in person, but it's what we call a 2-day class as far as the time commitment needed. So we hope that having it open for 4 days kind of gives you the flexibility in order to complete all that work. All right. Are there any, now that I've explained that, are there any other questions possibly about what I've said, or about any other part of our presentation so far? Well, thank you. And I've got my poll up here. So our poll, this next one is, what is your next step? Are you ready to enroll? Do you need some time to think about it? Do you have some more questions, or you're not really sure that this might be the program that you're looking for? All right, so let's give y'all a few more seconds here. Okay, so it looks like people want to think about it a bit more, and that's totally understandable. If you have any questions, you can always contact us. The email address, ohsinfo@ucdavis.edu. That is one that will reach myself and Allison. So if you have any questions later, please reach out and send us an email. Also, we have what we call we've got our actual direct website where you can see the listing of our classes. Let me put that into the chat here. Very long thing, and it's not letting me copy and paste. So hopefully, there we go. So you can click that and that'll go directly to our course listings and more information about our program. And we also have a Facebook page. So should you want to be like our Facebook page, and we do share, kind of news about upcoming classes, about any kind of programs, just general OHS information and news. Thank you, Allison. So yeah, you can. So if you're on Facebook and you want to like us, we don't try to bombard you, but we'll share some news and such that's going on in the occupational health and safety world. And you can also schedule an appointment to speak with us about the program using Calendly. And so Calendly, it's a program which connects directly with, my calendar at this time, and we'll also have Allison become a part of it, but it'll connect and you can set up a short meeting with us to talk about any questions that you have about the program, or wanting to sign up and such. Oh, I typed that incorrectly. As I see there. So apologies on that, but you can use that link to reach out to us directly that way. All right, well, thank you all for attending with us today. I hope that we were able to provide some good information, and that, if you have any questions, please reach out, and we definitely hope that we will see you in any of our upcoming winter courses.
Yeah. And as a reminder, you guys will be receiving a copy of this whole lecture in the email in case you need any of the links or resources in order to contact us.
Well, thank you so much, and you all have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Bye.